Hi guys. All right, so um today is my godmother's birthday. Happy birthday, April, even though she's not watching. Very weird, but whatever. So guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started. We are still doing the same thing that we've been doing all week. So we are reviewing fourth grade skills, and we are going to kick it off by talking about our context clues. So we know context clues are words, we should know this by now, or clues in a text that help us to determine the meaning of unknown words, right? When we are using context clues, we are making inferences about what the word means, right? So that means that we're looking at the words around it to figure out the definition. So let's go ahead to number one. It says, based on the context of the sentence, what is the meaning of ponder? Okay. At the beginning of the book, it says, a wonder is a natural structure so amazing and beautiful that it makes you ponder how it was formed. Okay. So when I think about ponder, it said makes you ponder how it was formed. So usually when you're asking a question, how, because we know that question, like how is a question prompt, you're usually thinking, right? You're thinking about like, I wonder how that works, like, right? So usually when you're pondering, it's like you're almost thinking, right? So let's look at the answer choices. A, to listen to. You can't listen to how something was formed. That doesn't make sense. B, to take notice. Okay, that might make sense. C, to wonder, or D, to create anew. So we're not creating anything new here. We're basically, we're pondering about how it was formed. So taking notice of something is actually seeing it. You won't really be able to think about how it was formed, right? So we know that wonder must mean the same as ponder. To wonder is to like think about how something was, to think about something, right? Okay, good. So let's go on to number two. Based on the contents of the sentence, what is the meaning of the word evacuate? We've heard this word several times, especially when we've been doing like our tornado drills and fire drills, anything like that. The villagers had to evacuate, leaving behind their homes and farms. So leaving behind is actually a direct definition of what evacuate means. Sometimes they give us clues, sometimes they give us the actual definition. So we know that if they had to evacuate, they must have had to leave everything behind. So evacuate means to leave, right? Good. And then last but not least, number three. Based on the context of the sentence, what is the meaning of frigid? The frigid water made Elizabeth's teeth chatter. So teeth chattering. Chatter is like, right? It means that your teeth are moving back and forth. And usually when your teeth chatter, you're very cold, right? And so we know that the water must have been cold. Okay, good, guys. Let's go ahead and continue with our model. Good. So I'm just changing up these numbers because that should have been number 1, 2. Okay, guys. So number 1, it says, sorry. Let's keep going. Okay. Read the sentence and choose the correct prefix. So we talked about prefixes, right? So first of all, when we look at these, remember, test taking strategies. Which ones can you eliminate first, right? When I look at these, I can automatically eliminate "ly" and "mint" because these are suffixes. These are not prefixes, right? So it's between N and D. We went shopping last night at our newest blank department store in our city. Okay, so department definitely doesn't make sense, so it must be department. Department is the same as store, right? Good. Let's keep on moving. Number 2, read read the following paragraph. Okay. What can you infer? So we're making an inference. We know that schema plus text evidence equals inference, right? So we have to use what we know based on what the text says to come up with an answer. As the teacher, so teacher is a character, started to hand out the science test, so we know that they must be at school, right? Jake is a character, felt a lump in his throat. Uh-oh. So he must be nervous. His hand was shaking as he wrote his name on the top of his test. As he read the first question, beads of sweat began to form on his forehead, and he had no idea what the correct answers were on the test. So if he had no idea what the correct answers on the test was, what can you infer about Jake? Jake is tired from not getting enough sleep. B, Jake did not study for his test. C, he is confident. Or D, the teacher is mean. So here, I can use the clues of him having a lump in his throat, his hand shaking, he's sweating, and he doesn't know the answers. It tells me that he probably did not study for the test. Okay? Good. So notice how I use like my schema. I know that usually when I don't study for something, I'm nervous, right? You use your schema plus what the text said to come up with a really good inference. So this should be number 3. So it says, read the story. And I don't know why it just has 2 answer choices here. It should be 4, but let's go. Which event occurred first and last? So climbing out of the car, my heart raced as I was excited to begin our family hiking trip. I skipped up the trail happily. The sun shone brightly and I was having a terrific time. Then the hill became steeper, but I still bounded up the trail. My parents were calling for me to slow down because we still had a long way to go. Sure enough, my legs began to burn and my breathing was deeper. I had been hiking too quickly. I slowed down my pace and started to feel more stable. We finished the hike and I was glad I had listened to my parents because if I had kept up the fast pace, I would have never made it. So which event occurred first and last? And so the only choices here would be B because he skipped and then his legs began to burn. And I don't understand why it's not any more choices, but we're just going to move on. So let's move on to our guided practice, guys. If Greer is looking for a bed for his St. Bernard dog, what price can he expect to pay? So guys, we have to know that you have to use your schema. A St. Bernard dog is very large. Okay, a very large dog. So if he's looking for a bed for his very large dog, what price do you think he's going to pay? So it says, give your pet his or her own private space. Polyester fiber filled beds are great for cats and dogs because they mold themselves to your pet's specific shape. Topped with at 100% polyester fleece cover. Small bed measures 16 inches in diameter. Medium is 21 inches across. Large is 26 inches. And extra large is 33 inches in diameter. And so if we know that St. Bernard is a large dog, what price would he expect to pay, right? So we know $6.99 is not even a price up there. We can eliminate that. He's not going to pay $25.99 because a St. Bernard dog is not a small dog. A St. Bernard dog is actually very large, so we know that he's going to pay A. Okay? All right, good. Number 2. How could you summarize these directions? So summarize basically means a summary. So if you were giving someone directions, how would you summarize this for them? If they said, how to get to your house, what would you say? So it says drive about 5 miles down the old highway until you see a really pretty green barn. They have a bunch of trees. So the green barn is definitely a clue. Take a left. and drive 3 more miles. You will cross the railroad tracks, and on your left will be a big white house. Then turn right after the white house. Drive 1 mile, and her house is on the left. So let's see. 5 miles, green barn, turn left. Okay, 3 miles. Turn right, 1 mile, house is on the left. C, turn right, B, turn at the green barn, turn at white house, and her house is on the left. That's not accurate because it doesn't tell you how far to go down. C, turn right at the green barn, left at the white house, and right to Jill's house. Jill is not even a character here. D, turn after a mile. So we know that A is the proper directions because it tells you specifically how far to go, and it summarizes everything that the passage talked about. Oh, the directions to Jill's house. Okay, cool. That was my fault. All right, number 3. What do you think will happen next? Okay, so that means that we have to come up with a clue on what will happen next. Michelle, that's our character, had waited for her new dance costume for 2 months. It finally arrived. She ran to her room to try it on. Everything fit except the skirt. It was too long. Just then the phone rang. It was Jessica, a girl in her dance class. I got my costume, said Jessica, and it's too short. So, Michelle's dress is too long. Jessica's dress is too short. What do we think may happen next? A, Jessica will hang up the phone. B, the girls will trade skirts. C, Michelle's mother will buy her a new skirt. Or D, they will both miss the dance. So what makes most sense is that both of the girls will change skirts because Michelle has a long skirt, Jessica has a short skirt. Okay? Good. Number 4. Okay. Which is not an effect of the stated cause. So actually, guys, I'm going to get rid of this one. I don't want this one. I'm going to mark this as 4 and this one as 5. Okay. Number 4. What is the mood of the feeling of the poem? So mood is basically like what it says. What is your mood? Like what kind of mood do you get in when you read this poem? She came out pulling at her gloves, face bright with rose, eyes smiled. So how do you feel when you read this poem? So if you're smiling, this poem, of course, should make you feel joyful, right? So mood is basically the same as like feeling. And then finally, number 5, the underlined sentence is a what? Today, while cooking oatmeal, she is Madam Butterfly. So they're comparing someone to Madam Butterfly without using like or as. So we know that that is a metaphor. Okay? All right, guys. So now is the time for you to do your independent practice. I'll just leave that there. You can cut the video off and get started with your independent practice and your exit ticket. And then hopefully you guys will do well and you can do it on your test tomorrow. Your test tomorrow will include all of a lot of the skills that we talked about this week. Text structure, you may have some figurative language on there. You may have some questions about text features, about chronological order. You just never know. Okay? So if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Have a good day, guys.